doing? If we look at number one, each table represents a relation. Determine the domain and range. Which one is the domain? The x's. Okay, so the domain is going to be the x's. The range is the y's. What is the rule? There's one rule with it. What is it?
You can't copy the same
Yeah,
number.
you cannot copy the same number. So we're going to say domain is going to be what?
-5.
-5.
-4.
-4.
-1, 0, and 0.
Good. Okay, the range is going to be -7, 5, -6, 1, and 6. Bless you. Okay, the ordered pairs, which one is the domain? Which one's the x?
The first one.
The first one, okay? So it goes like this, x, comma, y, okay? So that's the domain, comma, the range, okay? So it's gonna be, for the domain, it's gonna be -7, -2, -1, 2, and 7. Okay, and again, you cannot repeat, okay? What are we doing? Really? Because your paper's blank.
I'm in DNR.
Well, then do it. Here, Tom, I'll help you get a better grade. Hey, good morning. Here's this.
I thought you said we can take as much as little notes as we want.
You can, you still gotta write the answer. You're still not supposed to be on your phone while I'm up here. Okay, the range is gonna be -7, 5, 6, 5 is already on our list, and 2. So all these second pieces. Okay, 5, each graph represents a relation. Okay, so start at the X line and just look up and down, okay? So the domain is gonna be what? What is gonna be the domain? What's one of them?
2.
2, I agree. So here on the X line, if we look up, there's a dot on the 2. Where else?
4.
4, okay, there's a dot on the 4 line,
-3.
-3, okay? So that's gonna be it for the domain. Okay, the range, you're gonna look this way, okay, to the left and right, okay, and it's really on this line. So where is there a dots on this line if you're looking over back and forth?
3.
3, I agree. Where else?
4.
4, I agree.
2.
2,
-4.
and -4, good. Okay, and again, we don't repeat, so even though there's multiple dots on 2, we're only gonna write down 1.
Are we crossing out 9 and 7?
Yeah, because I already made your copy of your test and I didn't do it. Okay, number 7. Okay, 7, each mapping represents a relation. Determine the domain and range. Okay, the domain is going to be what? -7, -1, 5, and 7. Okay, so that's just that whole first column. Okay, the range is going to be that whole second column, -5, -3, -2, 0, 7. Okay, 9 and 10, you're going to cross them off nice and big. There's a part A and B, so make sure that you cross that off as well. Okay, I did not draw your graph, so Okay, 11, it says, each table represents a relation. Determine if the relation is a function. Okay, so is it when the x's repeat or the y's? Okay, and if, well, it's not both. So if we think about a graph, okay, and we graph something at 1, where x is 1 and y is 2. Okay, so that coordinate is 1, 2. Okay, which way makes it not a function? 2, 2 or 1, 3?
2, 2.
Okay, so is it, when we do a test, is it like this or is it this way? That makes it not a function. Up and down, okay? That's the vertical line test, okay? So, 1, 3 is gonna make this not a function. So is that when the x's repeat or the y's? The x's are not allowed to repeat, okay? So make sure that you put yourself a note on here, so no repeat x's, okay? If x repeats, then is it a function or no? Okay? If the x's don't repeat, then it's a yes. Okay, so if we look at 11, do the x's repeat or no?
Yes.
Yes, they do repeat. So is it a function?
Yeah.
No, it's going to be not a function. Okay, because the x's repeat. So it's almost like asking yourself, and then if it's a yes, then your answer is no. If that makes any sense. Okay, so if we look at 13, okay, flip the page. Look at 13. Again, do the x's repeat? How can you tell if multiple things come off the x? How do we know if the x's repeat on number 13? If there's 2 lines coming off of it, okay? So, off of the domain. So if it looks like this, then your answer is going to be no. If there's only 1 line coming per thing, then it's a yes. Okay, so this one is going to be a yes. Yes, it is a function. Whereas 14 is going to be what?
No.
It's going to be a no. What number makes it be a no?
Number 6.
Yeah, the negative 6, okay? Okay, 15. Each table represents a relation. Determine if it's a function. Okay, so any stretch where it's like going up and down is going to make it be a no. Okay, so I would maybe write yourself some sort of notes. Some examples of no would be a closed shape, so a circle, triangle, square. Okay, any sort of sideways shape. Okay. If it's like, I don't know, a sideways W, okay, an up and down line, okay, all these are going to be a no, because if you were to draw a straight line through, see how it's touching here and here at the same time, okay? It's touching here, here, and here at the same time. A straight line is made up of a bunch of dots. So, do any of these parts have a straight line on 15?
No.
No.
Yes.
Well, actually, yeah.
What number makes it not good?
-3.
-3. Okay, so right here on this little stretch, see how it goes from -3 all the way down to 7? It's going straight up and down. Okay, and so that consists of at least 4 points that we know of. Okay, -3, -3, -3, -3, -3, -4, -3, -5, -3, -6, -3, -7. Okay, all those are going straight up and down. So this is going to be a no. Okay, because it fails that vertical line test. Okay, 17, evaluate each function. So everywhere there's an x, we are plugging in what? 2. Okay, and we just do it on our calculator. So right here should be a 2, right here should be a 2, right here should be a 2, with parentheses. So it should look like F2 equals negative, we put the negative. There's an x, so we're going to put parentheses 2. There's a baby 2, so we're going to put that. There's a minus and a 2, so we're going to say -2. There's another x, so we're going to say parentheses 2. And there's a plus and a 3, so we're gonna say plus and 3. Okay, we literally copy everything down. Okay, this part is the part that you're gonna type on the calculator. You have to use parentheses. If you don't use parentheses, it's not gonna work right, okay? So type that in your calculator, see what you get. -5? Somebody agree?
Yeah.
You got -5 too? Okay, so my answer is gonna look like F2. So this part we keep equals -5 for all of that part. Okay, 19. Sketch the graph of each line. So these all go in the form of y equals mx plus b. Which one of these do we graph first, the m or the b? Yes, we do this one first. Okay, and we do this one second. Okay, what is the b? Okay, but what is it? How would you describe that? Because where do you put the -1 at? On the y line. Okay, so it goes on the y line. Okay, and then we do the m. Okay, so that's our rise over our run. So how much we go up or down versus left or right? Okay, and then lastly, this is a positive line, this is a negative line. Okay, that's good to just have on your paper, so if you're graphing or looking at a line, you can tell, okay, is it positive or is it negative? Okay, so, if we're looking at 19, we start at -1, okay? So we're gonna go to the y line, which is right here, and go to -1 and put our dot. Okay, from that dot, you're gonna go up how many? Up 3 over how many?
2.
1. Why 1?
Because there's nothing in me.
There's really an imaginary 1 under there, okay? So we're gonna go up 3 over 1, which way? I need a positive line. To the right, yep. Okay, 21 says find the intercepts on the graph. So it's where does it cross the x line, where does it cross the y line is really what's
In
happening.
between 1 and 2, and then 4 and 5. No, just on 4.
Okay, so the y we can agree, because there's a y right here, is definitely 4. So y is just, you're going to say 4. The x, what are some acceptable answers?
1.5.
1.5 would be acceptable. Okay, 1.75. Is 2 and some change acceptable? No, why not? Why can I not say 2.5 or 2? It's definitely not past the 2. Like, are we all in agreement? Like, you guys know that it's between 1 and 2. So any number that you pick between 1 and 2, I will absolutely count. Anything else is a no-go, okay? Because you and I can both tell that that number is between 1 and 2. Now, do we know exactly what it is?
No.
No. Okay, so as long as your number is between 1 and 2, that's fine. So what do you guys want to go with?
2.
No, 1.5.
1.5? Okay, so you can say like this, 1.5, or you can say 1 and literally a half, okay? Something like that, okay, it's totally fine. Okay, 23, the intercepts. Okay, what are they gonna be? 0, 0. Okay, we can see that 0 goes to 0, so that's for the x and y. So x is 0 and the y-intercept is also 0. Okay, 25. first of all, find the zero, so what does the zero match up with? 3, okay, so is that an x-intercept or a y? Okay, and if you're not sure, think about it, so if you draw a graph, and the dots here, that's gonna be x, that's gonna be like over x amount and up 0, okay, so that's the x-intercept. So the y is gonna be over 0 and the y amount, okay, for the y, so that's gonna be the y-intercept, okay, so, if we look at that one, is that an x-intercept or a y-intercept? It goes 3, 0. It's an x-intercept, because if we say we're gonna go over 3 and then up 0, okay? So if it has a 0 in this spot, it's an x-intercept. If it has a 0 in this spot, it's a y-intercept, okay? So we can see that the 0 is in the second spot, which is gonna be this one, okay? So that's gonna be an x-intercept. So x equals 3. Okay, so if we look at 27, is the 0 in the x spot or the y spot? The 0 is in the x spot, so is that going to be a y-intercept or an x-intercept? The y-intercept, so the 0 is in that first spot because it's 0, 3. Okay, so it's going to be y equals -3. Uh, 29 and 30 you can cross off. Okay, so 29 and 30 you're going to cross off. 31, you're going to need this formula. It goes like this: y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, make sure it's on your paper so that way when you take your test, you already have the formula that you need. Okay? Okay, so we can label x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, so it's going to look like 0 minus 20 over 17 minus -9. What is it? -10 over 13. Okay. We're going to do 2 more. Okay, find the value of x or y so that the given line passes through the points. So, we're going to set this up the same way that we did the other one. Okay, so it's going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 equals m. Okay, so we say x1, y1, x2, y2, and this is my m. Okay, so it's going to look like -3 minus -5 over x minus 6 equals 2 over 3. Okay, our first step is going to be to simplify the top one on the left. So what is -3 minus -5? -3 minus -5. What are you going to get for that? 2? Okay, so it's going to look like 2 over x minus 6 equals 2 over 3. Okay, from there, our next step is going to be to cross multiply and divide. Okay, so you're going to say 2 times 3, which is what?
6.
6 equals 2 times x, it's 2x, 2 times negative 6 is gonna be negative 12. Okay, and then we need to solve for x. So who needs moved? The 12. Okay, you absolutely could move the 6. It just kind of creates more steps. Okay, so we're going to get 18 equals 2x. And then what? Divide by 2. Okay, so we're going to get x equals 9. Okay, last one. They just want you to count. How much do you rise? How much do you run? Okay, so how much do we have to go up to get to one dot from the next? How much do we need to go up? 1, 2, 3. I agree. How much do we have to go over? 5. Okay, and you really need to check that on your calculator to make sure it doesn't reduce. In this case, it does not. Okay, and then is that a positive or a negative line? That is a negative line, so you need to throw a negative on there. Okay, somewhere on here, you can draw yourself a squiggly or something. 1 through 36 on your packet should be completed today. Any of the ones I crossed off, so it's about 16 problems or so. Okay, go through and get your side done, and then turn it in the box. Okay, make sure that your name's on it. Make sure it goes in the box. If you lose it, then you just lost out on half.